The Gospel of Gold by G.S. Lewis. Chapter 4. The Three Campers. Gold awoke to the sound of surrounding rainfall. He felt exceedingly comfortable and warm, and it seemed good in his mind to keep his eyes closed and relax his tired muscles. Certainly, at any other time following such complete exhaustion, he might have allowed himself to drift off again, especially given how soft the pillow he lay against. Oddly, however, his mind seemed to sharpen rather than dim, and he felt rejuvenated, as if by some virtue of his direct surroundings. He opened his eyes. Draped over his head, like a tent, was a single gigantic wing, red and white in the majority of its coloration, but refracting a spectrum of color at the wingtips. The comfortable mass he rested against was no pillow after all, but the downy side of a great bird. As he stirred, the creature's enormous head turned and looked down upon him. Gold recognized the eyes, for they were the same as those of the shining figure on the water, who had taken human form. The eyes portrayed a fierce countenance, but still there was that deep well of joy contained just beneath the surface. This was, without a doubt, the lady on the waves, and the phoenix from his dream. Ho-oh, the life-giver, was here in the flesh. You're the... Gold worked his tongue, struggling to form words as he knelt in the shadow of her wing. The phoenix watched him, and though her face did not move, he could tell she was smiling. In his mind, he recalled their final words together. "I am Spirit, and I name you Gold." "Are you... Spirit?" he finally asked tentatively. Her smile seemed to broaden, but she did not answer. No answer was necessary. He might as well have asked if she was real, even while the wing draped over him kept off the rain. He tried a different question. "You saved me. Why?" Spirit's head tilted ever so slightly, communicating puzzlement. "Did you not ask me to?" she replied, in the same melodious voice that seemed to echo in his dream. Her beak did not move, nor did her throat vocalize sound, but he could hear the words as clearly as if she were speaking plainly. Gold felt a little foolish for asking, but Spirit did not seem concerned. "I saved you the first time for the same reason," she continued. "Your father asked the great life-giver, the one who gave me life." A dizzying wave of epiphany washed over Gold as the weight of this statement struck him. "You were the one who revived me from death as a baby?" he breathed, open-mouthed. "You saved me twice?" "More than twice," Spirit intoned with a gentle laugh. "In truth, I have saved you more times than you could perhaps guess. It is the same for most humans. You have both enemies and friends in high places, and so you are threatened and saved in secret." Her words were overwhelming. Gold flopped down and put his hands to his head, trying to make sense of the revelation. His mind drifted back to an experience from years previous, when he had visited the burned tower on his own for the first time. A freak blast of wind had sent him toppling down the stone steps, but the tumble that should have broken his neck turned out to be a minor bruising. What he had attributed to luck was no roll of the cosmic dice at all. Somehow, Spirit had intervened and foiled the attack of his enemy in high places. Gold looked sheepishly up at Spirit and ducked his head, feeling his face redden. "Well, thank you for saving my life, for all the times. I don't know how I could begin to repay you." "It is my duty," she replied graciously, "and my pleasure. You are my charge, Gold, and though you will be hard-pressed, I will see to it that you are never crushed. In spite of her comforting presence, unease crept into Gold's heart. What do you mean? He asked nervously. Why have you taken such interest in me, and why do you have to protect me from whoever it is that's trying to kill me? He put his hands to his chest, motioning to himself. I'm nobody. I'm one of a billion kids on this planet. What have I done? For the first time, sorrow appeared in Spirit's eyes. Lugia, she said with a faraway look. You are familiar with that legendary Pokemon, aren't you, Gold? Gold nodded silently. He was not created evil, but even before you were born, something happened that caused him to despise humanity as a whole and become a creature of pure malice. He was corrupted, and now he has a corrupting influence on all creatures within his domain. Spirit closed her eyes. And his dominion is very great. His psychic awareness extends all across Johto, to the very heart of the Pokemon League headquarters in the far northeast. It is how he learns the ways of humans and gets into the heads of the greatest to the least. Moreover, he is master of storms, like the one you experienced on the sea. He has power of the air. His name is Silver. Silver. Gold repeated the name to himself under his breath, picturing the figure in the storm clouds in his mind's eye. He had the name of his enemy now, but still he did not know why the foe of humankind hated him as an individual. Silver had taken time to gloat over his impending death out on the sea. Somehow, this was personal. Gold. Spirit's gentle but firm call brought him out of his thoughts. The sadness was gone from her eyes. You asked why I've taken interest in you. The truth of the matter is, I chose you long ago. And, to borrow a popular phrase from Pokemon trainers, I choose you now. There is a mission I want you to complete. A mission? Gold straightened, his eyes widening. What sort of mission could a legendary Pokemon possibly have for a kid like me? Your father wanted you to travel on the Johto Journey, Spirit continued. And so do I. However, you will not have Pokemon to protect you, nor will you fight gyms, earn badges, or participate in the League. You will eventually be hated by certain people, not just Silver, for what I intend you to do. Indeed, you will be a Mareep among wolves, and I will not be present as you see me now. All this, Spirit said with stern gravity, fully upright, with her wings stretched. Nevertheless, do not be afraid, she said solemnly. I will be with you. Rise, take up your walking stick, and head north. As she lifted her wings, Gold felt a twinge of panic. She was leaving him there, right there, in the rainy forest clearing. Wait! He pleaded, as the phoenix rose off the ground. Don't go! I don't understand your mission! I don't even know which way north is! It is the direction of your walking stick, Spirit called back, soaring upward with a rainbow trailing behind her. I will be with you! Have faith, Gold! The phoenix continued to rise until she was covered by the clouds, leaving only a trace of rainbow outlined in her wake. Gold watched the sky for a little bit longer until the last lingering warmth of her down was washed away by the coldness of the rain. It wasn't as bad as it had been earlier that morning, but Gold sorely missed the shelter of her wings. Sighing, he felt for his backpack and realized with a start that it wasn't there. Crap, he thought. All of my travel supplies were in there. Now what am I supposed to do? He glanced around, taking his first proper look at his surroundings. He was in a clearing surrounded by trees, mostly evergreens, which seemed to stretch off in every direction. At his height, the only discernible landmark was a distant mountain peak to his right. Gold recalled going over the Johto map with Morty during their various evening sessions, and noted with an ironic smile that it must be Mount Silver. Is that where Lugia Silver resides? He wondered with a shudder, then brushed the thought aside. He needed to concentrate. Judging by the geography of the area, he was still close to Cherry Grove City. Mount Silver on the right meant that he was either facing east or looking north. Without the sun out to cast shadows, it was difficult to tell for certain. As he continued to ponder, his eyes chanced upon something glowing faintly on the ground ahead. Distracted, he started forward. There, lying in the wet grass, was a single red feather. It rested right at the tip of a 5-foot-long stick, at the top side from the direction he was walking. Gold grinned as he knelt, taking the sign immediately. Spirit might as well have glued a note on the stick, stating, "North is this way." Lifting the stick, he shook the clinging dew from it and set off.